And that is the secret. That is what is being done. And if it wasn't, well, what we would see is all the Mr. Olympia competitors all doing sprinting to train for next year's Olympia. Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why everyone on the internet's a friggin' moron. And I'm exaggerating, it's not everyone, it's just most people, especially those who post on TikTok and those doing shorts. And so if you can't make it making long form content, what you do is you make shorts. You shorten the video into 30 seconds so that you don't have to actually know anything, and you can spew nonsense and people eat it up because they got short attention spans. And so in today's video, everyone should be sprinting because it's going to increase your gains. You're going to build more muscle than last time. And so I'm watching this guy, Superhuman Troy, who has tons of followers, even though he doesn't know very much. And listen, it's not his fault. He's doing his best, and I do respect the hustle. He's working harder than last time. He's trying. It's just he doesn't know that much. And so he's doing his best. He's not doing it on purpose. It's not like the Liver King. He's not purposely deceiving you. But I can tell I watch his video, the guy, he really doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, here's why everyone who lifts should sprint. The first reason is a little bit bro science, but...
And when he stopped with a little bit of bro science, but the video should have ended right there. Should have said, it's a little bit of bro science, and so I'm going to go and do some research, perhaps contact Coach Greg, Mike Israel, ask somebody who actually knows, is this bro science or is this factual information that I should share with my viewers? And so over 3 million morons watch this, and many of them, they actually believe the nonsense that he's spewing.
Just take a look at the physique of anyone who sprints regularly.
Okay, I choose Canadian sprint hero Andre DeGrasse at the last Olympics. He got the gold medal in the 200-meter sprint, as well as 3 bronze medals, one of the best sprinters in the world. And so let's check out his physique. And so I'm Googling his physique, and I'm checking him out, looking shirtless, running in his little tank top, and I think it looks like he kind of works out a little bit. He had about the size of Coach Greg when he was 13 years of age. Little bit of muscle, yet he runs the 100-meter dash under 9.9 seconds and is the gold medalist in the 200. His anaerobic alactic and anaerobic lactic energy systems, they are better than last time. And think of it, he's not even that tall. And for a guy of this stature to win, well, what does that show? It shows that just by running, it doesn't make you jacked. And if you don't think this guy lifts weights, of course he does. This is a guy who trains harder than last time on the track and in the gym, and yet this is his physique. And what do you think it really comes down to? Genetics. People who sprint often have amazing genetics to put on muscle. It's simply genetic. What came first, the chicken or the egg? It's simply the fact that those who are genetically blessed oftentimes have fast twitch muscle fibers, explosive power, and easily put on muscle. That's why many guys in the NFL or sprinters that you see in the Olympics, they often are quite jacked, and it's not because of increased growth hormone.
Second reason is the benefits for your metabolism, your anabolic hormones are just incredible.
They're just incredible. The benefits of your hormones, just incredible. You know what else is incredible? Squatting. That's right, you're saying if you lift weights, you should be sprinting because you're going to build more muscle. What about squats? Squats is kind of like sprinting. You're lifting a very heavy weight forcefully, and the body doesn't really know the difference between sprinting on a bicycle, sprinting, running, sprinting, swimming, or sprinting, lifting weights. What it knows is what energy systems are required to produce that power, that ATP.
Now, this cannot be disproven. If you just look up sprinting benefits, it has the compound effect of increasing your resting metabolism, increasing your human growth hormone, even increasing your longevity.
And so you know what would really happen if you start sprinting? You're going to overtrain. When you combine lifting weights and sprinting, what you're doing is overloading the body, overtraining, and making it very difficult to recover. Imagine Chris Bumstead says to his coach, hey, I watched this video from this guy. He says I should start sprinting. Okay, sure, let's start sprinting. Chris will get worse. He can't suddenly start sprinting, he will overtrain. Not to mention the increased risk of injuries. And so no, everyone shouldn't just start sprinting to build muscle. And you know what they should do instead? Zone 2 cardio. And what's that? Well, it's cardio at a pace that's harder than walking with your grandma, but it's not so hard as to fatigue the body. What are those benefits? Well, when you do zone 2 cardio over time, the body adapts. It allows you to buffer lactic acid more easily. Also use more fat as energy while doing this cardio. Net result, you are able to recover greater between sets and push yourself harder during anaerobic lactic training, which is often done when lifting weights. And consider supplements like beta-alanine, which can buffer lactic acid, or GO2 max, which can improve cardio. Imagine how adding these can in fact make you better in the gym. But no! We should just start sprinting because it's going to increase growth hormone by 700%.
So would you like to know the exercise that can boost human growth hormone by 771%? Any ideas? Sprinting.
And so yeah, perhaps it increases growth hormone by that much for a couple seconds. Does that actually translate into building more muscle? Oh, it must. Dr. Eric Bird said so. What else did he say? Oh, if you fast, you're going to increase growth hormone levels, and so fasting builds more muscle. Only once a day. Yeah, because the body senses there's a problem. It's feeling threatened. We're in danger. We haven't had food in 24 hours. We should increase growth hormone levels to make up for the fact that we're having a hard time retaining the muscle that we have. And so if you starve yourself and eat one meal a day, in comparison to, for example, eating 5 times a day with protein to optimize muscle protein synthesis, which is to build muscle, then here's the difference. If you're eating optimally protein 5 times a day, you perhaps are going to build 5 pounds of muscle in that year. Let's just use that as the example. In comparison, if you're only eating 1 meal a day with protein, well, you're at a disadvantage. Your body would build 3 pounds of muscle. And so what does the body do? Well, it releases more growth hormone to make up for the fact that it thinks you're starving. And so rather than only building 3, which it would have, due to the increased growth hormone, you build 4. But remember the person that was eating optimally? They're going to build 5 pounds of muscle. And so you, with your increased growth hormone, you're going to build 4. Yay, better than 3. Not as good as 5. And so do you really think that it makes sense to use intermittent fasting and sprinting in order to increase growth hormone levels to help you build muscle? Of course not. The net result is going to be net negative, not net positive. But in comparison, zone 2 cardio at a moderate pace makes sense. Won't cause your body to overtrain. You can recover. And so a guy like Chris Bumstead, who's not a moron, who's winning title after title year after year, is doing zone 2 cardio as well as lifting weights. And that is the secret. That is what is being done. And if it wasn't, well, what we would see is all the Mr. Olympia competitors all doing sprinting to train for next year's Olympia.
Now, this cannot be disproven. If you just look up sprinting benefits, it has the compound effect of increasing your resting metabolism.
And it increases your resting metabolism. What do you think weightlifting is for? Why do you think you're in the gym building muscle? Increase lean body mass, increase BMR? Of course it's going to build more muscle. And so why do you think you need to suddenly start sprinting when lifting weights is literally a form of HIIT cardio? Think of it. Really analyze what are you doing in the gym. Whether you're sprinting or lifting weights, does the body know the difference? When you're doing a set of 15 on the leg press or squat or doing whatever, the body senses, wow, we're working out really hard right now. And so it has to increase your heart rate as the energy demands are increased. And after that, you rest. What does sprinting look like? You do the exact same thing. You're putting out more power and then you rest. You go back and forth. And so weightlifting is a form of HIIT cardio. And so why would you, on top of that, add on more HIIT cardio? The result's going to be overtraining.
Increasing your longevity. So anyone who's in the gym should definitely be sprinting too.
And if you actually look at the research, doing zone 2 cardio for perhaps 150 minutes a week, that is going to increase longevity. And so whether you're getting in your steps or going for bike rides, hiking in the woods, please go out and do your cardio. And no, it doesn't need to be sprinting.
If you have small legs and you think the only way to grow them is by squatting heavy, I promise you, you're dead wrong, because I tried it and it did not work.
And so remember, this is the same guy that's saying that doing squats is killing your gains, that you don't need to squat heavy, and by heavy means doing sets of 12. And I don't disagree, you don't have to squat, but he's quite literally saying we should all go out and sprint, but that we shouldn't squat. That doing sets of 12 is heavy, dangerous, and not good for your gains.
First couple of years of my fitness journey, I definitely had chicken legs, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, and that's because of how I was training.
No, it's because you just started training. You get it? That it takes time to build muscle? And so did you ever think of this? Did you ever think that doing all that sprinting combined with the squatting was why you weren't building muscle? Perhaps you were overtraining? I mean, I don't feel like it takes a genius to analyze this information. And so rather than just regurgitating a study which has no bearing on actually building muscle, but it's testing something different, why don't you start analyzing what you're doing in totality and stop making assumptions?
Superset here, leg extension. We're gonna do a drop set. So we're gonna go 12 reps, drop the weight about 30-40%, do another 12 reps.
And so there's so much I could talk about this video. For example, doing a set of 12 and then dropping the weight by 30% and doing another set of 12. The only way you can do that if the first set of 12 wasn't actually that hard. As if you're doing a set of 12 to failure and you drop the weight by 30%, it should be extremely difficult to get even 6 to 8 additional reps. And let's analyze his form on the RDLs at the end. Notice that rounded back towards the bottom. It's not good. He's in fact doing the exercise and explaining it wrong. And at the top, notice he says to really squeeze, to come to full extension and squeeze. Well, when you're doing an RDL and you're trying to develop the hamstrings, perhaps glutes, and you squeeze at the top, all you're doing is standing relaxed. You're not doing anything. The weight of the dumbbells is only putting stimulus on that muscle as you begin to bend forward. Once you're at the top, there is absolutely zero incentive for the muscle to contract. And so why not just stand there and hold in a shit? Like literally, squeeze your ass cheeks together, pretending you have to use the bathroom. You had too much Chipotle, you gotta use the washroom, squeeze your ass together. You don't need to do this at the end of every set. And in fact, it's the opposite advice of what I would give. I would want you to keep tension on the muscle. And so if you do an RDL and come to full extension at the top, the hamstring, the glutes, they are no longer being activated. That stress from the dumbbell, it's no longer implying a stimulus to the muscle. And so why do it? Don't go to full extension and squeeze. Come close to the cup, keeping tension on the muscle, and again, lean forward without rounding your lower back.
This is killer, guys. You do not need to squat heavy and do basic exercises to blow up your quads.
And so no one said you need to squat heavy, but in fact, doing squats is very beneficial to building your legs. And so why are we removing one of, if not the best exercise for building your quads and getting rid of it and using the argument you don't need to squat heavy? Well, heavy is arbitrary, and you said it yourself at the start, 10 to 12 reps, that is excellent. So there's nothing wrong with developing a program that doesn't use squats, but why not use them? And you never thought, oh, the fact that I'm sprinting and squatting at the same time, that is limiting my gains? And so I'd argue that everything you said is nonsense. It's full of bro science. And to further show just how much people don't get it, Eric Berg made a video saying that sprinting is better than injecting GH for building muscle. And so imagine if Liver King had known this, he could have saved $11,000 a month just by doing wind sprints. But do you really think that's the case? Yet people call out Coach Greg, oh, you didn't read any of the studies. I have a master's in kinesiology. You think I haven't read studies? I don't know. Some of those Olympic sprinters are pretty damn big. Correlation does not imply causation. And some of those Olympic sprinters are pretty small. And it's because of genetics and the fact that they're training, not the fact that they're actually sprinting. And the next comment, which gives me faith and hope for this world, basketball players are tall, so basketball makes you taller. That is how stupid some people are. Saying that, oh, look at all these sprinters, they have a lot of muscle. It's the same thing as saying that basketball players, look how tall they are. They must have gotten taller playing basketball. It's the same freaking thing. That example is absolutely on point amazing. And this is just bro science, but if you get my freaking cookbook, it increases growth hormone by 7 million%. And so you don't have to sprint or run or do anything. You just buy the book and you will for certain beat Chris Bumstead next year.
And I'm being sarcastic.
That is equivalent to the kind of information that's being spewed by these videos. People make up information, they make it into a short, 30 seconds long, they don't explain anything, and people all get tricked and confused. And for some reason, people seem to forget that I had the highest average in university every single year, won the university award, highest average. I'm not an actual moron. I know I sound like one, I look like one, and I'm a little manlet, but I'm actually more intelligent than last time. And so I understand how the body body works. I'm not some bro science guy that just goes to the gym, picks things up and puts them down. I actually studied this. And so in conclusion, adding sprinting to your weightlifting workouts, I don't recommend. It's not going to make you more jacked and in fact could make you worse. But what I do recommend is you add in zone 2 cardio. And if there was one supplement above all that I would recommend, it's NMN, which is in GO2 Max, of which the FDA recently banned in the United States. It's not illegal to take. It's not going to make you fail a test by WADA. And so if you're training in the Olympics, you're a UFC fighter, you're a runner, whatever, you certainly want to take NMN, as the human studies, double-blind, placebo-controlled, show just how effective it really is. I have bought NMN and NR before knowing that Greg did a video on NMN. I looked at the supplement he's selling, and it's actually a fairly good price with the amount of NMN that's included. I expect it to be much more expensive. In fact, I think it's fair to say he's undercutting major NMN resellers. And so please, if you're considering getting NMN, click the link in description, use code Greg, 10% off, and we have it in fact bundled to make it cheaper than last time. And so if you're looking to improve your exercise performance, live longer, ward off age-related illnesses, be able to do more cardio than last time, become a better butter burner, This is the supplement for you. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, like the video if you like it. That helps a lot, as well as comment to help the algo. That's the most thanks I could get. Watch some of the boobs. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB Pro. And of course, the cookbook, training book, the coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet book. And until next time, I am out.